Yes, please.
The other thing I'm working on is a citizen police academy. So I got one of the business coalition.
He's still, it's just fair around here. Don't, it's the having his own football. Can't leave him alone. And then when he goes for the bus, so the whole thing is just.
Good evening. Time is 6:04. I'll call this meeting to order.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Father God, we come before you, Lord, just always thank you for your blessings and always thank you for your mercy and just being the center of this governing body, Lord. I pray that as always, as we proceed with these meetings, Lord, that it be less of us, Lord, and more of you in all our decision making, Lord. And I pray that you heal any folks out there that may need healing, or you just touch them in any way possible, Lord, that they may need. We love you and we thank you. Amen.
Mayor Pro Tem Casey Martinez.
Honored to be here.
Councilor Pedro Valdez.
Here.
Councilor Justin Salazar Flores.
Present.
Councilor Felicia Archuleta Torres. Present. Councilor Denise Benavides. Present. Councilor Aaron Salazar.
Present.
Councilor Lynette Rodriguez. Present. And Councilor Samuel Ledoux.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do I hear any motion for approval of this agenda?
Motion to approve.
Any conversation or concerns about the agenda presented?
I do, Madam Chair, just a comment. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. For the sake of time, and I guess for the future, we do have a pretty lengthy agenda. Under just department updates, the last few times that we've done this, they tend to run an hour and a half, 2 hours during our meeting, if possible. If we can cut that short, and I mean, we have committee meetings for a reason, if we can have just the chairs of the committees, report back from the committees, or have city manager kind of give us an update on all departments. It just takes a little too long to go through everybody in 2 hours before we even get to any business and whatnot. You know, we do have, I have littles that I want to get home to put to bed, so, thank you.
Mr. Hawk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. And Councilor Torres, I was going to not proceed this evening due to the long agenda of executive session with the department meetings. You guys, Councilor, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, Councilor, did you have in your packet the reports from department heads? So at any given time, if you have any minor questions for them, most of my directors are here and they'll fill questions, but however, I do agree with Councilor Torres and the process of the committees, and I like that idea of the chairs of the committees giving the reports as well. That's a good idea. But the directors are here, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, and they will stand up for questioning as you feel questions from their reports.
I really feel like that does take a lot of time, but I also feel like it's important. But I think in getting the reports with our packet in a timely manner and having the availability of addressing questions prior to it, you might also work out. That way we're not inundated with holding everybody back so long. And it is a long work week, it is long for the staff, and everybody has to do their part. So I don't mind if we do a condensed version of that this evening. Okay? Thank you. Moving forward, consent agenda for
Madam Pro
February.
Tem, we have approved the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There was a motion, but not a second.
Second was by Eric.
Who was it? And then we took it on. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. All in favor of the approval of the agenda, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. So we have ourselves an agenda. Moving on, we have a consent agenda minutes of February 27, 2024. 8 and item B, March 26, 2024 meeting minutes. Do I hear a consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, sir. Do I hear a second? Consent agenda requires no conversation or no concern. All in favor of approval of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We'll move on to public comments. Under public comments, do you have anyone signed up?
First, we have Benjamin Pierce. And you'll have 2 minutes.
This is Esperanza Trio.
Go ahead and have a seat, sir, and make sure the, microphone is on. Welcome.
And Sally Baxter.
Mayor Pro Tem, honored council members, I'm here on behalf of the Espanola Veterans Memorial Wall Commission. First off, I would like to say thank you for the help this weekend. We got a lot done in very little time. It's definitely appreciated. And if you saw what the wall looked like before and after, it made a world of difference, and it made a world of difference to the fellow volunteers that we have on the commission. I'm actually here tonight just to ask the city for a little more help in the future in keeping the Veterans Memorial Wall up to be a place where the community's veterans can be honored at any time. And we do have people coming from all across the United States, oddly enough, that stop in our little mini valley and stop there wanting to see their loved ones that have been placed down there, or people that they've heard of. Oddly enough, last month, the Eyes of Freedom travel exhibit was here at Northern, and one of the member of the company, the marine company that's honored in that exhibit, Joshua Grant, is from the Espanola area, and is actually on a wall, which is kind of cool. But I just like to ask the city's help in a little bit more maintenance, and I'm not sure if it might be possible to have a very simple night, because there have been mornings when I've gone to pick up trash and picked up needles, other paraphernalia, remains of campfires, and even feces from that area. But I would like to ask for the city's help again in keeping it looking nice and getting some new repairs done, so that the 2 other volunteers that I have don't quite have to work so hard. I've got one guy that's been there for the past 2 weeks, touching up the names on the wall, which is great for him, because he,
Thank you for your service and thank you for your comments.
my pleasure, my.
Next, we'll have Veronica Aguilera.
Good afternoon. My name is Veronica Escobar. I'm a bilingual teacher at Anandez Elementary School. And this is Ms. Emilia Valencia. She's also a third and first grade teacher at Anandez Elementary. And we are here, first of all, I would like to thank City Mayor, Mr. Sam Ledoux, and the city manager. They attended our school on April 2nd, when we had our students presented like an indoor park project that they did. So we're here because we would like to ask the city for help on building an indoor park for our kids, for our community.
to address once again this month, the homeless encampment by our house. I have a few more of my neighbors. One over here is the one who keeps having people come behind her house and have bodily functions. And I roll up and I have to go, what are you doing behind my friend's house? And you know what they're doing because they're squatting. It's out of control. I'm done. My neighbors are done. We're having people walking through our place at all hours of the night, setting off dogs, setting off. You got the text message where some asshole decided to kill my neighbor's dog because it kicked it, and it was in her own yard that they chose to kill her dog. I'm done, my neighbors are done, anybody that lives around us is done. This is out of control and it's not fair to us. I have said numerous times that you guys don't care about cooks, placing them at the end of our trailer park and endangering grandmothers, grandchildren, children, families, other people's animals, has shown us that you don't care. That what I've been saying for years, because that's how it feels, and you would feel that way if you were in our position. Absolutely. Every day, we have people coming through. And I don't care if they're living there or they're visiting, they are walking through our area. And we're done. This is out of control, and you've placed us into, somebody's gonna end up getting shot, and then whoever shoots them on their property, it's all gonna come to a head. If that's what's gotta happen, it's going to. It's just a matter of time.
Thank you, Bethany. Betty Espanola?
City board members and everyone else. My name is Betty Espinosa. I'm gonna read this because I think it'd be a little faster. I would like to address this email to those that have the power to act on the following issues. I would like first to start by complimenting those who are responsible for removal and demolition of all those old buildings and beautifying our city. Second, I want to address the homeless in our city. What is the impression we are giving newcomers or people driving through our city by allowing the homeless live in our riverbanks? Water is the most sacred resource we have in this world, and it is now in jeopardy. We are fortunate to have the Rio Grande run through our city. I have often thought it would be nice to have a river walk on both sides of the river, from the Oñate Bridge to the Ferry Bridge. Having the homeless camp on a riverbank presents a big problem for our city, Espanola Valley, and surrounding communities. The water in this river is used for irrigation, drinking water, trout live in this water, and people go fishing. With the spring that we are in now, and the summer coming, it won't be long before we have the river full of homeless. Others will be encouraged to come. I hope the mayor, city officials, county officials, and citizens of our community do not allow this to continue. We know the lifestyle of homelessness, filth, trash, syringes, feces, and even dead bodies, among other things. What about bosque fires? Have we thought about the businesses and homes that are located in that area? How this will impact them? Right now, you heard that. Right now we are driving through our city. The roads are full of trash. If we can't keep our streets clean now, who is going to be cleaning our riverbanks? All the trash will be going down river, landing on riverbanks, affecting other communities. As we well know, these people have no respect for the environment. We will be enabling them if we do not address this problem. With the warm weather coming, they will be bathing and washing their clothes, and heaven knows what else. I do not want to sound inhumane, but for every problem there is a solution. We can't turn a blind eye. If people here in our city feel the same as...
Thank you, Betty.
Okay, thank you.
And last we have Stephen.
Point of order, but don't even need to use that. Point of order. Okay. All right, here we go. I think this 2 minutes for public comment is completely bullshit. There's people here reading letters and it takes longer than 2 minutes to read a letter, and I think 2 minutes is bullshit. There's not a lot of people that sign up for public comment. Anyways, with that being said, my homie John's not here. He was supposed to appoint the city clerk today and let you all know. I don't know if that ever has happened or not. I hope it's this one. I hope it's Esperanza. Charles Rennick. Buddy, you're gonna get in some heat water at the Boards Association. Other than that, this Zoom link shit, where you're not allowing the members of the public to get the Zoom link, but you're allowed to have it for everybody else, I think that's complete bullshit on all your guys' parts. You guys claim about Santa Fe does this, Rio Rancho does this, Albuquerque does this. You guys go all with that. Albuquerque gives away Zoom links, Rio Rancho gives away Zoom links, City of Santa Fe gives away Zoom links for the constituents to watch. KDCE radio, right now KDCE radio is not advertising or broadcasting our public comments, they cut it. That's some bullshit. Just because we use profanity and your decorum, you can fuck your decorum. You can fuck your decorum. With that being said, I have dirt on you too, buddy. I'm gonna get it all out. I have dirt on Peggy, I have dirt on Pedro, I have dirt on Justin, I have dirt on Denise, Aaron, I have dirt on all you guys. I'm gonna expose it.
I think you should stop the.
I would just like to ask, you willing to read that letter with the clerk? I would like to finish reading whatever you have on there. Would you please read that with us? Leave your phone number also, so that people will be in contact. Thank you for your time and for addressing our concerns, all of you. We're gonna go ahead and move on to business with visitors. We have a presentation this evening by the Espanola Business Coalition regarding retail theft and property crime.
My name is Francis, so saying horrible and public speaking.
You're fine. You know, I feel like anybody that comes over here and is trying to improve our community, you have a free reign to keep your mind on what is up. Thank you.
My name is Alyssa Cordova. I'm the new store manager for Walgreens here in town. I'll be honest, I was not anticipating on staying here long. With all the prior warnings that I received from coming here. But I've fallen in love with the people and the culture and overall welcoming community that somehow feels like home, even though I've never been here. I'm here today to address a pressing concern that affects the fabric of our community, crime and theft in Espanola. It's a challenge that demands our collective attention, resolve, and action. Every instance of crime and theft not only robs individuals of their possessions, but also erodes the sense of safety and security that is essential for a thriving community. Whether it's a stolen vehicle, a break-in, or vandalism, each crime leaves a scar in our neighborhood, affecting us all. Let us draw strength from our unity and determination to confront this issue head-on. Together we can implement strategies to prevent crime, support law enforcement efforts, and foster a culture of vigilance and cooperation. We must also recognize the root cause of crime and theft in our community, addressing underlying issues such as poverty, substance abuse, and lack of opportunity. By investing in education, job training, and social services, we can empower individuals and families to build better lives and reduce the desperation that often leads to criminal behavior. Furthermore, we must strengthen the partnerships between residents, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and community organizations. Through communication, collaboration, and mutual support, we can create a network of resilience that is capable of effectively combating crime and theft in Espanola. By By standing together and refusing to tolerate crime and theft in our town, we send a clear message that Espanola is a place where law, order, and justice prevail. In conclusion, let us pledge ourselves to the task ahead. Let us work tirelessly to make Espanola a safer, stronger, and more vibrant community for who call it home. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I want to reiterate some of the things that were said, talking about unity and implementing strategies. I also want to recognize that the Business Coalition is having a meeting on Thursday at 10 a.m. in these chambers, correct?
Correct, yes.
Any member of the public or any member of the council is welcome to attend. These meetings are very important because they keep us connected with other law enforcement agencies, it keeps us connected to the DA's office, it keeps us connected to each other, and it definitely keeps the business entities connected to the city public safety services. Without you as a business coalition, I don't believe we can be as effective as we have been. I believe that it's very important to continue the collaboration and do whatever we can to improve things. So I'm looking forward to Thursday's meeting and hope that other councils attend. I thank you again for your time, for your energy, and for your spirit, and thank you for loving us to know the way that we all do.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Absolutely. Other council comments? Any council comments? Councilor Dewey?
Yes, I have a couple of comments. One of the major ones being that we have to be better at communication in this administration. It just seems like over and over again, there's been a lack of communication, especially among deadlines. The mayor last meeting promised twice that he was going to appoint a city clerk candidate by this meeting, and we were not informed that that was not going to happen. He stressed that several times last week that that was the timeline that he was going to set. Then, this homelessness crisis issue, we have had several deadlines that have passed that were set by the city manager, that were set at these meetings, and there was no communication about advisements at all. And then finally, this Zoom link issue. Now, I know that it's going to be addressed in the city manager's comments, but we have to at least apologize for not trying to correct the record when the Rio Grande Sun published that the people were going to be able to speak or at least listen to the meeting through Zoom, and it was published in the paper, and it was not addressed until several members of the public started emailing the counselors. It shouldn't have to get to that point. So communication needs to be stronger in this administration. Also, I want to reiterate the crime issue. We really need to get a grip on the crime issue, and we need to step up enforcement. We need a jail in the city. The enforcement is the biggest issue that we are not addressing. We have countless people throwing themselves at trying to do harm reduction and trying to help as many people as possible through recovery, but enforcement is where we are lacking. We need a jail, or we need to strengthen our relationships with our neighbors, because as soon as we catch these guys, they get back out there. We need to do something quickly, because we're a town that relies a lot on people passing through, and when McDonald's has to put a code on their door, when Walgreens reduces their hours, when all of these vital services continue to put restrictions on people who are trying to lawfully buy things, they go into the store and things are locked up, it's hurting our economy, it's hurting our GRT. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. If y'all will indulge me tonight, I got a few things that I've got chicken scratched here. Pero Santo Dios, first of all, is all I have to say. Y luego, I want to start out with, if we can add that letter to our meeting minutes that we had before, also, instead of just reading it, so we can get that letter on our meeting minutes and it'll be officially part of us. And then, let me see where I can start out here. So a few things, since we got some of our directors here. There is about a good 6 shopping carts again on North McCurdy. all alongside that little bosque there, by the river, so we can get those taken care of. It's almost on a daily basis, that we've got brand new shopping carts, so, if we can do we had said a light audit, but we need a shopping cart audit, for that. I'd like some information on our trash trucks, where we're at with those, we're still waiting on those, we're starting this board department. I'm not gonna take notes on this city manager, because I got a few things for you, if you can, give us during your, city manager report. So the trash trucks for that. Secondly, is if we can reimburse the Espanola Valley Little League. I understand they're the ones that fixed the lights and took care of the lighting situation down at the bottom. They're taking care of what we're supposed to be taking care of, so if we can reimburse them, I'd rather not take money for, I'd rather reimburse these little ones, because they need it more than we do. So that's that with the Espanola Valley Little League. Where am I? In the crime and so forth, you know, I also wanna make it known that, we're putting a strain with everything that's going on in our city, with the theft, with the homelessness. I give praise to our PD, I give praise to our fire department, because they're just getting, I mean, they're spread thin with what's going on. But, you know, we gotta look at other avenues and different things, because KOB always said it best, and I've said this 1,000 times, I think, behind this diocese, they're boomerang thugs. These guys go do their job, they go to court, they get a warrant, these folks don't care. They don't have a mailing address, they don't care, they don't, if that warrants, whatever it may be. We need to think of some different policies, procedures, what we can do to help our PD out, especially with some of the state laws that are out there that always tie their hands in some of the things, because I'm not sure we're well educated on, you know, again, I've said this again, house before, it ties these guys' hands a lot. And we just need to give them the resources that they need. Secondly, well, I guess I should say fifthly now. Foundation, my understanding for the burn building was to be part of the agenda tonight and potentially be awarded tonight. Everything was done, is my understanding. Finance department did their diligence, they took care of everything. My understanding is we only have one bidder, that's fine. But the building's already on order, I believe it should already be on its way, it should be in a few months. So we need to get a handle on this, because time is of the essence. Why we are not proceeding this is beyond me. I'd like answers on why we don't pursue this. We have a finance committee for a reason, but we are also taking our employees a little bit for granted and taking their time for granted, because they had everything ready for this, is my understanding. And just because we didn't want it, doesn't mean that it shouldn't be taken care of. Where else? The other thing is, are we gonna reach out to the bidder as a courtesy and let them know why we didn't give them bid or what's going on? This is just unacceptable. These are the things that, transparency, these are the things that people need answers to. These are things that, whatever happens behind these walls, we need to get answers for. You know what? I'm just dumbfounded by that. You know, we're all for it, we're all for the burn building, we're all for this, but we get a bid in and, you know, we're ready to move on. No. Why? Why? That's just so unacceptable. I think that's all I got, but, well, city manager can take notes, but during your report, sir, I'll be asking these again. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councilman Rodriguez?
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to address a little bit the clerk position. I was actually working together with city manager on a really good qualified candidate. Last minute, that actually fell through, unfortunately. And so I think that says a little bit about what happened with the clerk, and I'm happy to discuss further with Councilor Ledoux after the meeting if you'd like. And just, you
when a person knows that no other entity can bid because they didn't attend this meeting, first meeting. Nobody else but him attended the first meeting. So then that puts the city in a predicament because now that contractor or any contractor understands that they're the sole bidder. And the city's responsibility at that point is to make sure that that price that comes from that sole bidder is fair and just to the public. That is what's happening, and that's the reason that this has been held back, because we have not received final word on whether that's a justifiable bid. If it is a justifiable bid, then that bid will be awarded. Sometimes things take a turn, sometimes things take time, and we all just need to trust and work with the staff and know that they're doing the best that they can do. The public is entitled to pay the most fair and just price for any job. This is taxpayer money. So when we put a bid out and only one person bids, it's the city's responsibility to do their due diligence to make sure that that price is justifiable. Once that happens, then that will come before this governing body. So that's a simple thing. Concerning the city clerk, I'll follow up on what Council Denise said. You know, city clerk is a very, very critical position to this community. And putting a timeline on somebody as far as the next meeting is very difficult because it requires a very special person to do the job. It requires that they understand the laws in a real way. And it requires somebody that's able to work with the entire governing body, able to work with the mayor, and able to work with the staff, and able to work with the city manager. So I myself would like to see that appointment happen yesterday. But I trust that it's such an important position that we need to just be careful how we move forward with it. And putting somebody in a corner and saying, name somebody today is not good, and he probably should have not given himself that kind of timeline. She's baby Chandra. In the meantime, we're grateful for the work. She's giving an explanation why Chandra Oro and Dereko for the city clerk's position. Having your regular jobs, and it's not easy, and you yourselves can attest to how difficult that job can be, and how much scrutiny it comes from the public. So I think it's important that we be a little patient with each other, that we try and work with each other, and that we pick the very, very best person that was willing to do it with all the work that we're trying to make. Concerning the Veterans Wall, you know, as far as I can remember, when the Veterans Wall was originally created, there was a Veterans Commission that sort of took care of that whole thing. And then as time has come forward to this time now, that commission has sort of dissolved. And that's okay, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it's time for the city to look at reinstating some type of commission to help us with that. I know for sure this fact, that the staff prioritizes their jobs on what is coming up. And I know that the Veterans Wall is on the schedule to look perfect by Veterans Memorial Day. I know that I have total confidence in the staff that they will have it done. I know that in my heart, and I've seen it run year after year after year. I would like that it looked better all year long, but I understand when our staff has certain priorities. Little League is coming, they have to prioritize that. Something else is going on with this park, they have to prioritize that. The leagues are getting started at the industrial park, that becomes a priority. So our staff are amazing in that they will always get things done. It might not be in the timeline that we want it, there might be some frustration. I feel it myself at times, but at the end of the day, I have total confidence that our staff is doing everything that they can. And I myself will be out there every day if I have to for a while to help you do whatever we can do. I recognize that it requires more than 5 of us to do that work. I think that it would be interesting if we called out for a day for the community to go to that wall and help bring it back up to its splendor. Whoever is painting the names on the wall is doing an incredible job. It already looks brand new and polished. And, I just wanna recognize, Counselor Toya, her family, her husband and her son were out there on Saturday. Counselor Aaron Salazar was out there, Counselor Pedro Valdez was out there, Counselor Sanders was also out there. You know, it's important that us counselors get involved, but it's also important for the public to recognize that that wall belongs to the veterans, and who in this community is not connected to one veteran? We all are connected to veterans. So it's very important that all of us get out there and do whatever we can to, improve that area. And, I think if we could organize something as a community, it would be beneficial to work with you guys and try to do that. Moving forward, I don't have anything else except for gratitude for the work that the staff is constantly doing. And a lot of times working under duress, and not only that, but having to respond to things that they should not need to be responding to. This staff is, you know, is incredible in that their attention can shift every 15 minutes. It's crazy how many fires come up at the city. Different things come up every single day. You think you're gonna focus on one thing, and before you know it, there's 4 other things that are happening. Case in point, the fire yesterday in San Pedro. Do you know what I mean? So, without understanding the staff's full day, their full schedule, they're prioritizing and how they do things, it's hard to lay back and lay blame on any one person or any one thing for something that's not getting done. We as a community need to work together. When we bring a problem, we need to consider solutions. We need to bring solutions to problems, not just point out problems. I think it's important that we work together in fulfilling the needs of our community and prioritizing them ourselves.
She's trying to do control damage.
Before to the city manager, I wanted to go into every single update. I just want you to give a brief of what's going on.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Pro Tem, councilors. I want to start with addressing the homeless issue and what my internal team is going to be doing now very soon as we prepare to meet with the school board members and public schools to where we are planning to relocate on city property and industrial, and what we need to do to accommodate the schools. And to keep with a timeline that we need to, because you just can't make these happen overnight. And I did have to extend the time, Mrs. Espanola, I'm sorry to apologize. But you need to understand what these people at this homeless camping go through. My encampment is very clean. I spoke yesterday with the environment department. They've done an inspection and how clean it is. Trash receptacles, portable toilets, everything else, portable showers that we have there. How that encampment is so clean. KOAT TV did an interview with me there at it. And this gentleman, the gentleman that conducted the interview from Channel 7, has been to encampments all over the western United States. He said this is one of the cleanest encampments he's ever visited. So we are doing something right. Now, moving forward with the public schools, we have to ensure that we don't have any pedophiles, anything like that. You know, how I have a limit to the number of people that are in my encampment. I'm not, there's 27 and that's it. I'm not lying anymore. I cut that off as we begin the process of moving. And just to let you know, the public to know that 85% of these people in the encampment are from this area, either from the city itself or the surrounding areas. They're not just from anywhere else or just came off a bus from Chicago or LA or Phoenix. They're from right here. And so, you know, to humble ourselves and to care for those people, because as Jesus said it best, and as was given in the Here we go.
He just became
do
Catholic.
unto those as you would do unto me. And if we can live by those words and not judge, if these are human beings as well. So we have to think about that. You know, these people are shot at, things are thrown over the bridge at them. But it's a self-contained area, and it's as the deputy fire chief can allude to, because he heads us up right now to with me, and as we begin this move and we work with the public schools and of course the Rio County, because they have been a great help. I want to thank the county manager for the assistance, and Dr. Dotsie and his team, for the assistance that they give, because they're constantly there.
And,
They're providing for them on the
she's the
town.
one with the
Thank
dark
Councilor
hair.
Benavides for working with them, for giving them housing. Councilor Toya has been out there, the Pro Tem has been out there, Councilor Salazar's gone out there with me. And it's, you know, it's unique in its way, but it's something that we have to do, because if I turn those people loose in the community, what's gonna happen? You need to ask yourself, do you want them in your backyard? Do you want them out there in the community? What's gonna happen there? You know? And so we need to think about that. So we need to concentrate on how we treat people and how we move forward with this. And there is no solution. We can put Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid, but we need to work together as a community to solve this issue, not just the city. Everybody always blaming the city. The fingers are always pointing at us, but yet we're taking charge of this and we're trying to do the best that we have with little. We don't get very much assistance from the state. I know Councilor Benavides has been very influential to get help from Santa Fe County. We get a lot of assistance from Rio Rico County. But this is something that we're tackling. My police department doesn't go down there and harass. They've gotten one call to this encampment. One call. And they didn't make no arrest, and they kept the peace. And that's not compared to what they get to other calls around that deal with the homeless. And so, as we move forward, I want to move forward in a positive direction. And help. I want help from the community. You know, everyone can bring up the problems. Who's got the solutions? What are the solutions? You know, to the veterans, we did not, the city's not made aware of what was going on. It was last minute. The Pro Tem got a last minute and spread it out to the other councils so that they could be there. We would have more staff, but it is on our schedule. It is on the schedule. It always is right before Memorial Day. Every 2 weeks before, we got that place shining for you. Right before Wednesday, it's always shining for you. And I do plan to spray down the weeds so that they won't come back. To Councilor Torres' commitments, the trash trucks are being assembled as we speak. The chassis, the cabs and chassis, they're scheduled to ship the body manufactured on this Friday. And it takes 5 days for the transport because they come from Phoenix. And then again, like I alluded to last time, the mechanics have to go and get trained. I spoke briefly now with
This guy's word salad.
and the MOU will take care of Anthony and we'll leave with the lights. What was the other one, Councilor? Sanitation trucks, cover that. The Little League.
Just the homeless part of it, you know, I understand that, you know, as Christ said, we just quote a little joke for everybody is, you know, Jesus was a jokester too, right? Now, everybody usually takes him serious and whatnot, but, you know, he woke up one morning and this, you know, do you remember anybody know the story when he cursed a fig tree? You know, he cursed a fig tree because he was hungry that morning, so he went out thinking they'd have fruit. Well, they had nothing to give, so he cursed and killed the tree. And everybody goes, wow, Jesus killed the tree? So, you know, city manager, to advocate for these folks here as well with the issues that are going on is they're human too. I mean, we're all taxpayers. You know, I've had the constituents call and ask us, you know, I see you guys have provided trash cans and have done all this. You're charging me for my trash can. Why aren't you guys charging them for their trash can? Granted, I get where they're at. I get their situation. I get what's going on. But these are citizens providing for their necessities. So, you know, there's two sides to every story, and I get it, but we also need these folks that are here advocating and you know, needing some assistance is what they need. They don't need somebody attacking them. They don't need somebody saying, we're working on what, you know, they need answers and they you know, and maybe we need some ideas. You know, we don't have ideas, maybe we just need ideas as well. But, just want to throw a little joke out there to kind of break that ice a little bit, but thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Bernardi?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'll go ahead and address that. So I've been working closely with City Manager, and so there are ideas actually, and I also want to mention that both the encampment and Pathway Shelter are being addressed. Pathway Shelter is being addressed in an aggressive manner, not just by the city, but the state and the governor. There's some restrictions that have been put forth on some some strict restrictions that have been put forth, that will need to be followed. So there are things happening in the background. Sometimes, some of these things are discussed with the entire governing body because, we're in the works of seeing what we could do. There's also discussion of the pilot homes, how many we can bring, what that cost will be, and who will pay for that. And that's something that I'm working on, and I let city manager know. But to move the encampment is to move the encampment. What we need to do is not have an encampment, right? Because in order to get federal dollars, they can't live in a tent. It's not considered a home. An encampment is a home. So we need to provide some sort of home, but then resources to go along with those homes. And these homes aren't permanent. These individuals need to understand that they're in a program, right? And there's going to be restrictions within those programs. Those guidelines need to be worked out. It doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately. And I know the frustration because I get those calls constantly, and I'm on the phone with the city manager constantly. I was on the phone with him last week saying, get over there, that encampment's grown, get rid of those people that shouldn't be there, we knew who needed to be there. Safety pathways, that encampment is now down from 47 to I think 27, roughly. What back up? Okay, well, we'll have to address that. But we're already in the new executive director, but I was having close contact with her. And there's also discussion about moving past the shelter from the location that it's currently at. So there are a lot of things happening, and I know they won't happen quickly enough, but there are some things happening, and it's difficult. I know it's difficult for everyone. I hear from Bethany, and some of them, I agree. There's a lot of issues, not just substance abuse, but mental health issues that need to be addressed. Unfortunately, our community doesn't have those resources, but we're trying to bring those resources to this community, and that's where I'm trying to work diligently and closely with city managers so that we can try to do that. So it doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately, but we are working towards a solution.
Councilor Duke?
So, I think this boils down once again to just communication. I think a lot more people would be more forgiving about some of the, frustrations that we're all experiencing if this information was out there, if it was shared to the Rio Grande Sun, if it was shared to other counselors, if it was shared, on the Facebook page or something, because people just feel like nothing's getting done. They don't see it, they don't see the planning that's going into it. That's why it's important to have these meetings broadcasted. That's why it's important to have public meetings so that people know what's going on, because people don't know what's going on. And if they don't know what's going on, they think nothing's happening. The lack of any update is basically saying to people that nothing's happening. And that's why people are frustrated. That's why tensions are coming to a boil. And, I also would, we don't know what happened to the social services director and the social services department. It was supposed to be announced on our swearing in who the director was supposed to be. It probably fell through, but that wasn't communicated. We don't have any communication about this stuff. And right now, that department was supposed to alleviate people like John Wickersham and all these other staff members from having to do double, triple overtime on this homelessness issue. We need some updates. We need some communication. Thank you.
I agree with you, Councilor, though that communication could improve. Some of the information that has not been passed on is because that's something we won't do until all of that funding is secure. Because, I don't want to give false hope to anybody. When we have that money in hand, then that will be communicated. At least, from me to city manager, and he can communicate as he chooses to do so. But I do agree with you. There can be definite influence.
So I just want to comment on that. This is my second meeting, but we talk about communication and transparency with the community, but quite honestly, we need that amongst us eight sitting right here. Because to me, it's a little bit frustrating for me to hear about plans when my constituents are calling, and I'm learning tonight. I should be able to answer them prior to these meetings. So I think we need to check ourselves before we can be transparent and honest with the public. And it should not all fall on the city manager and his staff. We're all here for a reason, but I can't help and I can't answer what I don't know. So I would appreciate, somehow we need to do this where we can communicate amongst us counselors instead of finding out twice a month.
also, one of the things that I have number one is to communicate with our city manager on all this that's happening tonight, complaints or things that are being said. I've already talked to the city manager, I know what's going on. And that's the main thing, is to communicate with him, and he, right now, what I hear here, I already know, because I've communicated with the city manager, and he's told me everything. So, and then in the meetings, is attending the meetings, that communication also is between the councilors themselves. So I just want to say that, the main thing to know is communicate with the city manager.
Thank you, Council Valdez. Councilman Rodriguez Martinez.
So, I hear Councilor Playa, and I hear Councilor Ledoux, and I agree with you. I think that communication is key. Communication is key amongst this governing body. The city manager is really good about updating us on our districts, but when it comes to citywide issues, I think that we do need to know. I also think it's important that our community knows what's going on. I really agree with that. I think that we need to be thinking out of the box and how we can get the information to them. I heard Councilor Valdez say not too long ago that there was a great letter that was put in the bill. Why can we not communicate with our community and let them know what's going on with the encampment? That it happened, what the date is, where we're moving towards. We don't have to give specifics, but we do have to give information to our community. It's not okay to not respond to our constituents that are reaching out to us. It's hard to give them information when we don't have information ourselves. It's really important. I would like a follow-up on the burn wall, and have more discussion about that. I'm concerned on the burn building. And the reason being is because Mayor Pro Tem gave an explanation that the city needs to do their due diligence for the only bid that came in. If we follow the process that we have in place, and this is the only bid that came in, why can't we follow that bid? I don't understand that. If only one person provided a bid, then that person be honored. We shouldn't, so when we say justifiable bid, who comes up with what's justifiable, is my question. It's important that we sit up here, meeting after meeting, and say that we need to follow the procurement policy. And that's exactly what we did. So I don't understand it.
Thank you, Councilor Rodriguez. Okay, I guess we'll move on. Items proposed for council consideration and discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a follow-up?
I did, Mayor Pro Tem, thank you. Just to add on to Councilor Rodriguez is, I think it's fairness, and my stomach is just so uneasy about the process right now, because we've said the procurement process, but however, now that our staff and anybody that was part of the process knows what the bid came in at, how is that gonna be fair to this one individual that came in versus everybody else that may come back to bid?
Nobody else is gonna come in and bid.
Well,
What the city is going to do is
if
they're
we're-
going to get an engineer to look at it and see what the costs are. John Recushan said that the engineer that designed it put a cost on it. If that's the case, that's all we need, that document. Did I say that to you, John? Okay, so that's where it's at. As long as the bid is fair and just, then that's fine. It's not an issue.
Huge kudos to our finance department, because they did everything right,
Absolutely.
and we take it back.
Absolutely. Thank you, Counselor. We're gonna move on to items proposed. for
Mayor
council
Pro Tem.
consideration. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you want me to, this is in response
Well,
to.
Madam Pro Tem, do I still have the floor?
Sure.
Okay. And then I'll yield to the city attorney in regards to the Zoom, but, Kelisa also broadcasts live, and I'll start with that as it pertains to the public. And if you look at the ordinance or anything else, whatever Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Miramonte, whatever, that's the way it is. Things are done different here, things are done different anywhere. And the city attorney, when this came up yesterday, I told the city clerk to seek the city attorney's advice. And to look into this, to how it pertains to Zoom, and who can and can't have access to it. And that's the perfectly right thing to do, it's an illegal thing to do. We already broadcast and you just can't say bad words on the radio, you can't. That they can be, the radio station get in trouble for that. And as far as the procurement process, was it followed right? Yes, but there was some things that were involved there that should not have happened. And I have no control of that because that's finance, and I took direction on how that was going to be laid out. And I can explain that more in executive. So,
Not today.
but not today, because it's not on there, but there was some improprieties that occurred. So, Mr. Ray?
Thank you, Mr. Lujan. I wanted to address, I might have to do this. This is part of the problem with Zoom that I'll address in a moment. As you know, I'm hard of hearing. When I use the Zoom app and the microphone, I get feedback, and I think the room might get it as well. In any event, after the last council meeting, April 9th, the Rio Grande Sun published an article that basically just reported what occurred at the meeting. And then at the end of it, it noted that that Zoom was available, but it was hard to find on the city's website, that people should call the clerk's office to get the Zoom link. I don't know where that came from. I mean, I was at that meeting, I don't remember it being said at the meeting, and to my knowledge, it has never been a policy here. For as long as I've been here, Zoom has not been used for that purpose. The public broadcasts of these meetings in real time have been through KDCE and through YouTube, city's YouTube channel. YouTube was suspended a few months ago, as I understand it, for security and technological reasons. And you have to check with the staff on that. But something came up in that respect. KDCE is a radio broadcast that the city does not control. The KDCE has, and my understanding it's been going on for 18 years, pretty faithfully. Anybody who's radio can get it. KDCE does mute certain things. You heard some of it tonight from Mr. Lona, who uses language that is probably in violation of FCC regulations, which is why KDCE might get the mute button. Otherwise, KDCE carries these meetings. Zoom has never been used for that purpose here. Zoom is used for the purpose of allowing remote attendance by the members of this body. It grew out of the pandemic. It is permitted by the Open Meetings Act. The Open Meetings Act does not require remote broadcasts, not KDCE, not YouTube, not Zoom, not anything. The city does that as a public service. So I simply wanted to bring to council's attention how this Zoom matter came up, what the history has been, and why.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Gu.
I think Mr. Rennick's comments and just him addressing the council highlights an important issue of why recording these meetings is something we need to consider a priority because of accessibility issues. He himself has difficulty hearing the room that we're currently in because of the echoes. and needs devices in order to hear meetings. We are not extending that same courtesy to other disabled people who may not be able to attend the meeting in person, who may not be able to hear the meeting because of the room. We are obligated to be as transparent as possible, not to meet the bare minimum. This is ridiculous. We're one of the only cities in the country that is moving backwards on transparency. Thank you.
Moving on to items proposed for full council consideration, discussion items and action items. Item E, scholarship of a 2-year agreement with Anthony Sanchez doing business as Espanola Valley Youth Baseball and Softball League approval and approval of contract presented by Mr. Anthony Sanchez, Recreation Supervisor Ashley Snyder. Thank you both of you. Please address.
Council, yes, how's everybody tonight?
Could you move the mic between you so we can hear you both?
I just want to start off by thanking Anthony for his dedication and what he does for our youth in this valley. Not only does he do the Little League, but he also does the basketball, the EDCA in the fall. So I just want to note that and thank you because he does time and dedication for our children, and that's what we need. We need more people like him to come together, have some unity for our youth and our children. So tonight we just want to propose the MOU between the City of Espanola and Espanola Valley Little League. We did have it go through community service council. There was a requested of a 4-year MOU with the direction of our community service committee. We decided to do a 2-year MOU to keep it in within the governing body and the people that are in office right now. So I'm going to give the mic over to Anthony, and he can share a little bit about himself and what this program brings to our community.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Sanchez. I'll be returning president of the Espanola Little League. I stepped away when COVID happened and wasn't allowing kids to play sports. So now I'm back, and thank you all for allowing us to use the other fields for our kids, our youth. It's been amazing. We've serviced 600 kids in our program for many years in this community. So it's great to give them the opportunity to come out and play, whether it's baseball, b-ball, basketball. You know, we need to provide more, I think, for our youth, and that's where we're going to do that. And we want to continue to do that for our youth here in the valley.
Motion to approve, Madam Mayor.
Charles ready.
Ready, a second?
Discussion?
Discussion?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. It was my understanding that it was changed because obviously it wasn't signed last year when this was already happened, but then we were in the middle of an election and whatnot in term cycles. They had done a 2-year, but I'm not sure if the chair of community services would be okay then, because it's already done with it, election's done, what we've now in business is to change it back to a 4-year, which is changing the term, not anything else, just the number of years. But that's just my opinion, just because you guys are thinking they don't need to come before us, they're coming for every year to get this MOU, but just to get them taken care of. But that's just my opinion. I'll yield.
The agenda does state 2-year agreement in the name of transparency. One of the things that I'll say is that this governing body changes every 2 years, so more than likely we will have to come back to this year's, and I don't think that's too cumbersome. It's going to take us 5 minutes to get this.
Shout out to everyone.
I want to take the time beyond that, Mr. Sanchez, to recognize everything that you've done for this community. Little League is such an important part of so many little kids' lives, from the time they start to play t-ball, to when they go to hardball, and when they go start playing softball, to get opportunities to play in their high schools and everything else. Baseball and little baseball is something very special that families can enjoy with their children for a long time, even in their retirement. So I thank you for what you're doing. I thank you for working on
go bad attitudes. Okay, so.
I am also a coach, for Coach Fish and South.
Take note of that in the minutes that they both have said that they are coaching in that same league, but their work in that league does not affect the vote on this council.
Okay, which are the two councils?
Councilor Torres Salazar and Ms. Toya.
If I may, Mr. Torres, I wanted to present the 5-year or the 4-year contract, but in discussion, I feel like the 2-year would be beneficial, not just for us as a city, but also for Anthony and the Little League, working together, building this program and other programs to come, and there needs to be changes that are going to be beneficial for him, you know, or us as a community. I think it would be a good idea to have that opportunity to go forward and make those necessary changes as we need to. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we continue to work together over the next 2 years and make it bigger and better and go forward if we need to make changes.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. I also want to thank you and your staff for everything that you guys are doing at the Lucero Center and for recreation. I know that your job is constantly changing and the leadership has changed over you, and that's always difficult. We've lost people and we've gained people, and things change every day in the city. It's an error all the time. But we can always count on your smiling face and everything that's going on over there at Lucero Center, and your commitment to the youth is unmatched. And I just want to say thank you for everything.
Oh, thank you. Yes, go team. Have a great team.
It helped a lot, so it's awesome working with that team, so.
Awesome. I love that, and I can tell that there's a mutual respect with you two sitting there and working together, and the fact that you have an awesome community services chair. It has been just excellent for this community, and I also want to state that I feel like it's really important for the city of Espanola to not only run with this that you're doing, but continue to add to these types of programs as far as possibly the youth soccer league and things like that in our community. And I know that that puts a lot of stress on the staff, but at the same time, I really feel like it's important. We need to start really moving things forward on the recreation.
We've had those discussions with
Awesome.
Cam, with you.
Like I said, all because of unity, so, you know, Madam Chair and my staff, his staff, everybody at community service. Big thank you to GSD, Parks and Courts, they just helped us get like the full cover of our street bills and Halloween, so you know, everybody coming together is really, so I want to just do a big thank you so much.
We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
You haven't done anybody yet, opening day ceremony this Saturday, hope to see everybody
What
there.
time is that at?
It's at 10 o'clock. Field 1 at this park.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir?
this requires a roll call vote.
Did I, oh, is it a contract? I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. Point of order, sir. Call for a roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis Martinez,
I'll vote last and yield to my fellow councilors.
Councilor Samuel Ledoux,
Aye.
Councilor Pedro Valdez, Councilor Justin Salazar Torres,
Absolutely in favor.
Councilor Felicia Archuleta Toya,
In favor.
Councilor Nanette Rodriguez,
Part of the motion?
Councilor Aaron Salazar,
In favor?
and Councilor Denise Benavides.
In favor.
I'll go back to Mayor Pro Tem Davis
Also
Martinez.
in favor. Thank you. Thank you, Madam. We'll move on to item F, approval of resolution 2024-11, accepting and approving budget adjustment for the grant amount of $300,000 for the FY 2024 New Mexico Fire Protection Grant Council, presented by Finance Director Eiko Moya and Assistant Fire Chief Mr. John and Chief John Martinez. Thank you all for being here.
Mayor Pro Tem councilors. We are presenting a resolution to accept and approve the budget adjustment for the grant amount of $300,000 for the FY 2024 New Mexico Fire Protection Grant Council. This is for a purchase towards, or a payment towards the purchase of a new fire apparatus.
Yay. May I hear a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ledoux. Do I hear a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Valdez. Under, comments or consent? concerns? Anybody have anything to add to this? Mr. Ledoux?
So this is a really crucially important part for our fire department. Our fire department is one of the best in the country, but unfortunately, they just don't have enough equipment or updated equipment, and we need to move forward with as much as possible because we don't even meet the bare minimum standards. So thank you, Assistant Chief Wickersham and Chief John Martinez for coming and getting this to us as much as possible. We need to help them out as much as we can. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you for having us, Mayor Pro Tem, councilors. I just want to give a shout out to Chief Martinez, who's the one who went out and got this grant, and the New Mexico Firefighters Association also for putting these grants out for us. This is a project that we've been doing for about a year now, that we've been trying to pitch in and afford this engine. We got $100,000 in the budget last year for it. And then this year, Johnny got the grant for $300,000. So I just want to give kudos to Chief Martinez for doing that grant and getting it awarded. And also Pablo Montoya, he put a lot of time and effort into the purchase of this vehicle.
I hope you don't mind, Chief. I want to recognize former Councilor Carla Martinez because I know that she did help you in writing this grant. And it's efforts like that behind the scenes where people are very interested in helping our community. They have the wherewithal of getting with the chief and working with him and making sure that gets presented on the city's behalf in the very best way. We did an incredible thing here. These are things that are so critical and so important. So with that said, do I hear a motion? I have a motion and a second. Do I hear, I guess it requires a roll call also. We roll call, please, and I'll say it to the last also.
Councilor Pedro Valdez.
Yes.
Councilor Justin Salazar Torres.
In favor.
Councilor Felicia Archuleta Toya.
In favor.
Councilor Denise Benavides.
In favor.
Councilor Aaron Salazar.
In favor?
Councilor Nanette Rodriguez. Councilor Salman Ledoux.
In favor.
And Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
In favor. Motion, thank you all for your presentation and thank you for the work that you do for our community. Approval of resolution, moving on to item G, you guys are all still on the hot seat, don't move. Approval of resolution 2024-12, authorizing and approving a submission of a complete application for financial assistance and project approval to the New Mexico Finance Authority, presented by our Finance Director, Ms. April Moya, and Assistant Fire Chief John Wickersham, and Fire Chief John Martinez.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So, in your package, you'll see the resolution included for approval to authorize and approve the submission of the application that was submitted to New Mexico Finance Authority for a total of $1,198,793, with a down payment of $400,000, which includes a $300,000 grant that I just talked about, in addition to the $100,000 that was put into the budget for this year towards the purchase of the apparatus.
May I have a motion to approve? I have a motion for approval and a second.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make the motion that we take
Councilor Justin Torres Salazar made the motion. It was seconded by Councilor Pedro Valdez. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion.
Oh, sorry, the application's already been submitted?
Yes, ma'am. We were in a time crunch. We have to use the $300,000 by May 31st. We also have a time crunch for the 12th. And just so you know, we're pledging our first and second part increment of our GRT for the $790,000, which may be less in the event we are able to get the discounts on the quote that's attached in your package. We submitted the full quote in the package just in case we don't meet that deadline. So we have a chassis prepaid discount of $16,206.37 and a full prepaid discount of $130,043.45. So if we are able to get this done in time, then the loan amount will be $1,52543.18 less the $400,000.
I also want to thank Mike Adams. We've been working with him. He actually reached out to Generation Bonds and Vanessa Ledger's office
ask for funding as well, 700,000. 800,000. To help with this purchase, so if we get that, that's another bonus that we can pay this off sooner. I just wanted to put that out there. Mike Adams has been a huge help to the city. I've been working on with him with a few projects with our drone, some drone footage for properties, and he's done a lot for the city already. I just want to recognize him.
That $10,000 loan, that you're so under, never mind.
We got some good photos of the fire.
You guys have the best equipment of any department, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you guys and your
Absolutely.
support.
Thank you.
So thank you for it.
Thank you. It's a taxpayer's money. Can I hear a roll call, please?
Councilor Sally Ledoux,
In favor?
Councilor Annette Rodriguez, or motion, Councilor Pedro Valdez, Councilor Justin Salazar Torres,
In favor?
Councilor Aaron Salazar,
In favor?
Councilor Denise Benavides. In favor. Councilor Felicia Archuleta Toya. In favor. And Mayor Pro Tem Pedro Martinez.
Thank you also in favor, and thank you guys for everything you're doing for our community.
Thank you.
Shout out to the fire department for the job they did in San Pedro this week.
I'm gonna end it here, guys. I have an emergency to go to. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Here you're right.
Yes, sir?
This was presented by Sally as an amendment to the existing resolution. When I reviewed it, I determined that it needs other revisions besides what she put in there, part of which has to do with these remote broadcasts. So what I've asked is, and I've asked Sally about this, to table this for the next meeting. I understand that part of the reason for the revision is to adjust the finance committee dates. And they would go from the third Tuesday to the third Wednesday. But the next council meeting is the second Tuesday. So if you approve it then, it will be effective for the next finance committee meeting.
So I don't mind holding off on the changes, and the committee can always, they have the ability to move that one meeting if they have to. That's okay. So do I hear a
Motion to table.
please?
Second.
Thank you. Motion to table and a second takes precedence over anything on the floor.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
So,
Bye.
any discussion?
Madam Mayor Pro Tem,